And you get to join me in your books, Wings of Song, page 6, Morning Has Broken.
It's kind of familiar.
I don't think, if they go to the second verse.
I noticed some of the words and some of the songs in the hymnals are a little different than maybe you learned. How many of you have been Unity all your life?
Wow.
Is the microphone on?
Yes, it is. Morning has broken. Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the word. Sweet the rings new fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the word. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light, Eden's soft day. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day. And you did very well. So often you hear God's recreation because it's spelled the same way. And then one more in the garden, page 89. Some oldies. I come to the garden alone while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the Son of God discloses, and He walks with me, and He talks with me, and He tells me I am His own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. He speaks and the sound of His voice is so sweet, the birds hush their singing, and the melody that He gave to me within my heart is ringing. And He walks with me, and He talks with me, and He tells me I am His own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. I'd stay in the garden with Him, though the night around me be falling, and He bids me go through the voice of woe. His voice to me is calling, and He walks with me, and He talks with me,
I was supposed to announce that the lyrics for the songs today are not going to be on the screen on the PowerPoint. They're either in the hymnals or inside your program, so be sure and check inside your program as well. So, and once again, good morning, everybody. Is there anybody here with us for the very first time? Wonderful. Did you get a red heart?
I did not get a red heart.
Shame on us.
So I'll go to confessional now.
Doesn't that mean she doesn't cheat now?
Yeah.
If she slips through the
Wonderful.
door? Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to tell you more about the Red Heart in a second. I'm just so pleased that Dr. Gale Gray is here today and Carol Gray. I'm going to tell you just a brief little story about when I first met them years ago. There's a retreat we all enjoy going to very much, and it's a Course in Miracles retreat that happens at Brighton Bush Hot Springs every May. Years ago, the very first time I went, you walk into the main room where most things happen, and it's a room full of people, most of whom I did not know. It's a little intimidating. And they said, come sit with us. They made the first overtures and made me feel welcome, and I will always be thankful for that. It was so heartwarming. So I think we have another song here.
Yes, I am that I am. I'm going to ask Joe to come help. And Debbie, this is one that the words of which were written by our wonderful minister who has passed now from Seattle Unity, Richard Levy. Oh. And so at the workshop at Brighton Bush, he presented this, and Shanti, I don't know if you know Shanti Norman.
Oman and Shanti.
Yes, Oman and Shanti, and now Marshall and Shanti, as things go. And
Right.
so she said, oh, may I put music to the words? And he said, sure. And she said, oh, good, because I already have. So that's what this one, we'll do it for you, and we'll do it several times. And if you'd like to stand, if you feel like it, you don't have to. What? Stand. I am that I am has sent me to this now moment. Here I am that I am has sent me to this now moment. Here I am to be the voice and to be the heart through which heaven is made known on earth. To be the voice and to be the heart through which heaven is made known on earth. Wonderful. Let's do it one more time. I am that I am has sent me to this now moment. Here I am that I am has sent me to this now moment. Here I am to be the voice and to be the heart through which heaven is made known on earth. To be the voice and to be the heart through which heaven is made known on earth. Thank you so much.
So a little bit about the Red Heart. What we do with the Red Heart, and we give it to new people, and every Sunday morning we remind people that the Red Heart represents the spirit of love. So we want you to know that no matter where you are on your journey of faith, you're always welcome here. We know that the world is a better place when we're willing to share our hearts. We give you this heart as a symbol of the steadfast spirit that lives within each one of us, and we ask you to carry this symbol as a member of the Red Heart Fellowship. Let it be a reminder that the love of God is always with you, and to share your heart wherever you go. The Red Heart, as a symbol of fellowship in the world, can spread love one heart at a time. Let's start the movement here. That's what the heart is all about. Okay, let's see. We have some helpers today, people that make everything that happens on Sunday a success, and I just want to acknowledge them right now. Our board member of the week is Tracy Loop, and Tracy is also going to help with ushering a bit later. Our chaplain today is Candace. Joe is our youth ed champion, and we need a little help with hospitality and cleanup after fellowship time. So if you're willing to pitch in, we would love and bless you for doing that. And Mark Swink is our technology guru. Thank you so much, Mark, for all you do. Susan Henderson helps with all sorts of behind-the-scene work and is our administrative assistant for the church. So thank you so much, Susan. Okay, and I'm your friendly platform attendant. I'm Debbie Clay. All right, so a few announcements. Many of them are in your bulletin. I'll just go over some of these briefly. Following today's service at approximately 12 noon, Dr. Gray will be leading a workshop called Raising Our Vibrations. And just to say, I experienced this workshop at Brighton Bush this year in May, so I can attest it's a wonderful thing, and you will enjoy it. And something special about Gale is he plays didgeridoo. It's part of his spiritual practice, and so if you'd like to experience a didgeridoo, it's kind of unique, so come and enjoy. All right, so there's more information in the bulletin, and I think he'll probably say something while he's speaking about that as well. We're doing movie nights as a fundraiser for the church, so the next one is July 28th, 6:30 p.m. It's a Star Wars movie, The Attack of the Clones. And the $5 donation includes soft drinks and snacks and things. You'll see the information in your bulletin. But again, it's a fundraiser for the Technology Fund for our church, so we hope you'll attend. And let's see, Reverend Karen Hamilton is going to be speaking again here soon on July 30th. So a lot of North Kitsap Unity people are participating with us, and we like that, by the way. Let's see, coming up on August 20th, our annual church picnic. So be sure that's on your calendar. It's fun, and it's fun to share with your Unity family. Okay. Tracy, do you have a board report for us?
I do. Good morning.
Good morning.
We want to thank you for completing the feedback forms included in your Sunday bulletins. They're very helpful. The information you are sharing is very helpful. Please continue to fill them out and put them in the bag in the fellowship area. Technology envelopes are available on your seats for those who want to make a separate contribution to go directly toward the Technology Fund. These funds are being held separate from the Sunday contributions. Mark is putting together a list of items needed, and the estimated financial cost is about $6,000. Our current balance is $1,124. So please give yourself a hand for that. That is wonderful. Our next movie night, as Debbie said, is Friday, July 28th, and we will be showing Star Wars 2: Attack of the Clones. Funds donated for this event will be used for the Technology Fund. Please join us for some pizza, popcorn, and movie and fun. A PJ
PG-rated movie will be shown in the children's room while the adults watch the Star Wars movie in the main room. If you have suggestions of movies you would like to see, please let Mark know or write them on the feedback form in the Sunday Bulletin. We will be finishing the Star Wars series in August, so please submit your suggestions and we will present them as the time gets closer to the end of the Star Wars movies. The Seattle Peace Project is ongoing through September. We notified the organizer by email that Unity of Bremerton will be participating along with Unity of Seattle, Linwood, Kent, and Southtown. All we have to do is believe in what you are doing and encourage our congregants to join in. How much time each individual donates to praying for the cause is entirely up to them. No obligation is needed. There is a flyer on the bulletin board, or you can go to their website, www.hhresearch.org, for more details. The board is working hard to preserve our savings account and operate under a balanced budget. In order to provide transparency to all of you, we are now including some financial status information on the back of the Sunday Bulletin. The full P&L statement is posted on the Sunday Bulletin. If you have a question, please see a board member. Yesterday was the Midsummer Healing and Intuitive Arts Fair. Mary Ellen, would you like to say something about that?
Good morning. I'd like to thank all those that helped yesterday. I don't have a count on attendance, but there seemed to be a lot of just kind of an even flow coming through the whole day. And we set up and had what I called angel cards, but they're actually messages of light. They're very inspirational messages, and we spread those out, and people got to kind of hover over them and pick one. And a lot of people seem to be blessed by that and have a message. I'd like to thank Ann Miller and Lynn Hampton, Joe Zukakis, Kat Bray, and I think there were 2 or 3 others that had booths there, and the ladies across the way from us in their booth was the Kingston Unity, and we promoted them when somebody said they were looking for something up north, and they promoted us when it was somebody from the south end of the county, so it worked out real well. Thank you all.
Now that we have a shorter, more concise mission and vision statement, we will be taking the next step in hiring a new minister. The board is meeting on July 30th to begin filling out the required paperwork to get the process started. Our next board meeting is August 13th. The board will continue to update you weekly. If you have any questions or concerns, please see a board member. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tracy, and thank you, Mary Ellen, for informing us on events going on in our church. And by the way, if you are out and about in the community and you see folks that you know regularly attend, but they're not here today, would you just kind of tell them what's going on and invite them to come? I know people get busy in the summertime with vacations and activities and things like that, but sometimes people just need a little nudge, like, hey, I missed you at church. Come and join us. Okay, I'm going to light the Christ candle now, and of course the Christ light represent the light of God within each one of us that we get to share with the world. So we have our invocation on the screen. Would you like to say this with me?
There is one presence and one power, active in the universe and in my life, God the good omnipotence.
Wonderful. Okay. We're going to have a brief time of handshakes and hugs a way of greeting each other this morning. If you don't, we're a huggy church. If you don't want to be hugged, shove out your hand real quick. But we're going to keep this short, okay? Because we will have fellowship time later. So let's say hello to each other.
Sit back here in the car.
So did you end up helping out? Okay. Oh, good. Oh, I'm happy. That's awesome. Good I'm listening.
Morning, George.
Fine, I'll look it up
Say a good word for me. Say a good word.
I'm Susan.
No, what they
Y'all, we're going to sing some more, so let's sing.
You can see that this song was written a long time ago. And the inspiration was that there was a young man in a wheelchair, and his friends would take him for a walk. And he said, "Oh, please stay on the sunny side of the street, because I love the sun." So that's how that began. So let's sound like the Carter family.
Del Rio, Texas.
There's so dark and the troubled side of life. There's so bright and the sunny side too. Though you meet with the darkness and strife, the sunny side be also be true. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It will help us every day. It will brighten all the way. If we keep on the sunny side of life. There's the storm and the sun reproof today. Crushing hopes that we cherish on the wind. Clouds and storms will in time pass away. The sun again will shine bright and day. Let's hear it. And keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It'll help us every day. It'll brighten all the way. If we keep on the sunny side of life.
I want to throw in an aha to it. Daily word, awakening. Divine revelations awaken me to greater understanding. Daily routines may keep me paused from fully experiencing life. As I move through my activities, I may be half conscious of my actions. Being awake is a state of consciousness. Still, when I remain present and wholly engaged in each moment and every activity, I begin to experience spiritual awakenings in every instant. Practices such as meditation, inspirational reading, and attending sacred services may aid in deepening my spiritual understanding. Spiritual awakening occurs when I dedicate myself to the awareness of spirit active in my life. Engaging in daily interactions and activities can also be catalysts to a higher level of consciousness. From Isaiah 60, verse 19, "The Lord will be your everlasting light, and your God will be your glory." Today, divine revelations awaken me to greater understanding. And God does bless us every day.
The other song on your insert, pressing on the upward way. I'm pressing on the upward way, new heights I'm gaining every day, still praying as I'm onward bound. Oh, plant me, God, on higher ground. Oh, lift me up and I shall be, by faith in Him, eternally, a higher plane than I have found. Oh, plant me, God, on higher ground. My heart has no desire to stay where doubts arise and fears dismay. Though some may dwell where these abound, my prayer, my aim is higher ground. Oh, lift me up and I shall be, by faith in Him, eternally, a higher plane than I have found. Oh, plant me, God, on higher ground. I want to live beyond the world, though evil's darts at me are hurled. For faith has caught a joyful sound, a song of saints on higher ground. Oh, lift me up and I shall be, by faith in Him, eternally, a higher plane than I have found. Oh, plant me, God, on higher ground. I want to scale the utmost height and catch a gleam of glory bright. But still I pray till heaven I found. God, lead me on to higher ground. Oh, lift me up and I shall be, by faith in Him, eternally, a higher plane than I have found. Oh, plant me, God, on higher ground. And here's the little part Debbie was telling me to watch out for. 2 songs in a row in your hymnal, Golden Dawn, page 228.
I tried.
If you're familiar with the old hymn, Lead On, O King Eternal, that's the same melody. These words. A golden dawn is breaking, the shades of night will flee, and sons of men awaking, the light of truth shall see. We hail his light with gladness, our hearts burst into song, for truth will conquer sadness, and joy shall reign ere long. The golden day is dawning, and light of truth appears. The first bright ray of morn dispels our darkest fears. With peace and loving kindness transforming every heart, the day of joy and gladness shall never more depart. The golden day advancing now sheds a wondrous light, and rays of truth enhancing make all things pure and bright. The sons of men beholding find greater goals to win, for now we see unfolding the light of God within.
Thank you, Carol. Just so you know, that's Carol Glenn. And now our guest speaker, Dr. Gale Gray.
Well, good morning. For those of you who may not have heard of me or know of me, I was an engineer for 33 years at Puget Sound Naval Shipyard. And you'll see, as my wife would say, remnants of that training in my talk today. So, as was mentioned previously, my friend Carol Glenn and I attend Unity of North Kitsap, and to be perfectly clear, I gave this talk at our service in November of 2016. But my work evolves. I was an engineer, but now I'm a mystic. And so a mystic then is someone who looks for the direct connection. Don't spend a lot of time reading, don't spend a lot of time taking classes, don't spend a lot of time watching DVDs. If you ask me if there's a book that I've read, the answer is probably no. But I spend a lot of time in meditation and being open to what comes and what happens. I like simple to learn, simple to remember, simple to do, and simple to teach. So I think that Spirit communicates with us in our own language. And sometimes, since it's in our own language, we don't hear it because it's along with whatever else is happening in life. I'll give you some examples today. You know, most people are surprised when I say I'm a mystic, especially my engineering friends. I had one engineering friend who's an electrical engineer, and he looked at me and said, "How could you be a mystic? I mean, how can you believe in this woo-woo stuff? I mean, this is just, I can't believe it. How could you possibly do this?" And I said, "Well, you're an electrical engineer." He said, "Yeah." I said, "So what's electricity?" That was the end of the discussion. He shut up and walked away because we really don't know what electricity is. So when people talk about spiritual energy, that's very much like electricity, like nuclear energy. We really don't know what it is. So we really don't know what electricity is, but do we use it? Absolutely, because it behaves certain ways and follows certain laws. At least we think so. So I want to share some wisdom with you from one of my mentors, Swami Beyondananda. Swami Beyondananda says that there are two types of mystics. There are the pessimistics and the optimistics. So the difference is that the pessimistics are more in touch with reality, but the optimistics are happier and live longer. So I'm hoping that all of you today will kind of think, well, I am sort of a mystic too. I am hopefully an optimistic. So there's in our culture, coming from Greek mythology, the talk of a golden age, and this in the Greek tradition there are different ages. There's gold, silver, bronze, and then the Iron Age. And I'm sorry to say that the tradition is that each age is worse. And so, but there is the promise that these recycle, so that as we go through the age of iron, then we'll come back into the golden age. And we often use this in our culture. We talk about the golden age of radio, the golden age of Hollywood. We talk about better times. So when I say that we're entering the golden age, that's a thought about returning to peace, harmony, stability, and prosperity. And the one I like most, very good health. So my theory then is that we can enter the golden age by raising our vibrations. I want to mention that my theory can be explained in 3 words. So the first word is happy. So the first word is happy, okay? But I'm talking about happy as a spiritual practice. Today's daily word talked about meditation and things like that for spiritual practices. I call them spiritual practices. Being happy, I'm talking about using that as a spiritual practice. Well, our bodies are changing from a carbon-based structure to a crystalline-based structure. And this will then allow us, our physical bodies, will allow us to vibrate at a higher vibration, higher than ever before. So what is our part in that? What do we do in order to change from a carbon-based structure to a crystalline structure? And the answer is, you're already here, you signed up. That's all you have to do is be on the earth at this time, because it's just going to happen. I think the parallel would be like getting on an airplane to New York. So if we were going to go get on an airplane, if we were sitting on an airplane on the way to New York City, and some were reading, and some were sleeping, and some were eating, and some had to go to the bathroom, we'd all still end up in New York City. And that's the same thing. We're all going to have our bodies changed and having it changed. So what is our part in that? Well, that change, which is happening, can cause some physical pain and cause some things to change in our life. And the easiest way to help that and make it less painful is to be happy. You knew the answer. Is to be happy. To be happy. And what are some of the ways that we can be happy? So I want to introduce you to my morning spiritual practice. My morning spiritual practice is I do a stretch where I hold like a yoga cord, like that, and I turn in a circle and I look at everything that makes me happy. Everything that makes me happy. I don't look at something that needs fixing or doesn't work quite right or whatever it is. I look at everything that makes me happy. And when you do that, you discover that generally in the world, it makes you happy. If you focus on what makes you unhappy, then that's what will happen in your life. But if you look at what makes you happy, you will see what you look for. So that's a mystic's way of starting the day, is to look at what makes me happy. Another spiritual practice on being happy is to smile.
I agree with that.
There's a book called How God Changes Your Brain. How God Changes Your Brain. And one of the authors, well, I think both of the authors are, I think they're called neurotheologians. And what they are doing is they're studying the brain with scientific measurements and things like that. And when you're concentrating on God, when you're concentrating on things like uplifting, etc., your brain changes, your body changes, your body chemistry changes. And one of the simplest ways you can do that is by smiling. When you smile, your body physically gets better. The people around you smile back. And one of the things I've found traveling around the world is it's very universal. You don't have to speak the language, you don't have to know the culture, you don't have to know the religion, you don't have to know anything. If you just smile, people will smile back. And they are pleasantly disposed towards you. So as an engineer, to me, it just makes all sorts of sense. I mean, isn't that what you want to do? It's kind of like the WD-40 of life, right? Everything just kind of runs a little smoother. So, so being happy is, I think, a spiritual practice. Not just about feeling better, but a spiritual practice. There's only one major religion that uses it as a spiritual practice, and that's Buddhism. That's very interesting. Second word that uses smiling as a spiritual practice. They actually do that as a practice, and having known some Buddhist monks, I can tell you my experience, in my opinion, they are the happiest people of a religion that I know of, leaders of religion, is the Buddhist monks. And if you've seen the Dalai Lama, you can relate to that. They ask him a really deep spiritual question and very complex, and he'll look at him and say, I don't know. Inside. I like to say that everything we need, everything that we're looking for is inside. Probably a more accurate description is the connection to everything is inside. So if you're looking for peace, if you're looking for happiness, if you're looking for joy, if you're looking for love, if you're looking for anything like that, it's inside. It's who we are. We think it's out here, and we get distracted by it out here. And so I'm happy if my car starts. No, I'm happy because I'm happy, because I'm created to be happy. But as soon as, and again, a Buddhist, a Buddhist thought is that attachment is suffering. Because when you're attached to something out here, and it goes south, or however you want to say it, then you're unhappy. But happiness is actually part of who we are. So the third word then, so the first word is what?
Happy.
Second word is?
Inside.
The third word is connect. Now, what do I mean by connect? I don't know, I have to look at my notes. So God talks to us, or Spirit talks to us, or whatever you want to say, talks to us in our language. So in our family, we have a Nissan Leaf. A Nissan Leaf is a totally electric car, no gasoline engine. Okay? So so we have to hook it up to electricity to charge the battery. So there are three ways to charge a Nissan Leaf. And so if we were going to take a trip from here to Portland, for example, we can use one of those three ways. The first way is to plug it into a regular 120 outlet. Takes a long time. The next step is to use a 240 volt charger, which is the highest voltage that most of us have in our households. And that's a lot faster. We have one of those in our garage. It's a lot faster. And then the third way is to use it's actually like 480 or more voltage DC that charges directly to the batteries, not AC, it's DC. And there are some of these around. And one of the things that I didn't arrange with Mark in advance for is a little slide presentation of PowerPoint, so I'll tell you about it. Almost everyone here, everybody who's familiar with driving a gasoline car or a diesel truck? Pretty much everyone, or used to drive one. And so I've got a slide that I like to show. It's the Shell station in Tumwater on I-5. And there are like 9 or 10 gasoline pumps there, and et cetera, and whatever. But off in the corner, there is a 240 charger and a 480 fast charger. And to me, that is a picture of our lives. Right now, you chose to come to the Unity service. You're here. There are a lot of other church services going on now, just like there are a lot of other gas pumps. But you've come here because of the connection here, and the importance and the way that you're able to connect here versus somewhere else. And so I think that if we drove from here to Portland in my Leaf and we decided we were going to charge by 120, it would take us, 5-6 days, something like that. Just to charge. That's not the driving time. That's just charging time. If we used a 240 charger, it would take us something like 8 or 10 hours, something like that. But if we used the fast charger, it would take us like an hour to 2 hours. So do you see the dramatic difference? If you can hook up and connect at the higher level. So I mentioned that everything that we have is inside, and that our connection is inside. And so there's a parallel. You came with a 120 volt connection. That's your connection to Spirit. That's what's energizing the power that is you. That's the life force that's coming to you. But there's a level 2 connection. A lot faster, a lot better. Level 2 connection is through an avatar, through Jesus. And an example of this, Myrtle Fillmore. Does anyone remember Myrtle Fillmore healed herself, right? How did she do that? She did that, what? By affirmations, but she also did it through Jesus. Do you remember that? She had him sitting in a chair, didn't she? She had him sitting between her and Spirit and Source. She connected at a higher, what I call a level engineering, and a level 2 connection. So because our bodies have changed enough to a crystalline structure, we are now able to connect at a third level, level 3 level. And we'll do that during the workshop. So, get back to my notes here. There must be more to say. I have a demonstration. Carol, you want to give me a hand here? This is called a Van de Graaff generator. And you may be... So this generator generates static electricity. You want to hold it at the globe there? It's okay, it's not plugged in. So if you're within about a 10-foot radius of this, you'll need to not have a cell phone, and also not a pacemaker. At the globe, the silver part. There you go. Yeah. So if you have a cell phone, you may want to move, or you might want to move your cell phone. Let's see. And so give me a little slack and let me come on over here. So right about here, no pacemaker, right, Teresa? No pacemaker, okay, good. And this is very, very conservative, so thank you. So I'm going to take this light bulb, so people are familiar with the light bulb. And that light bulb is going to represent, it's going to represent the light within us. And I'll connect up this wire, and I want to make sure that you understand this wire is not going to light the light bulb. What this wire is going to do is keep. What this wire is going to do is keep the electricity from going through Gale. Yes. Okay, yeah, so that's going to keep the so that's a grounding wire. I'm going to turn on this generator. So feel free to stand up. Feel free to come up without your cell phone, whatever you'd like to do. You can see two things are happening here. One is the electricity is jumping through the air. Needs no wire, right? Okay. The other thing is it's going through the glass. Now, as an engineer, I can tell you those are two things that you don't normally think about when you think about electricity. You don't think about it jumping through the air like that, and you don't think about it going through the glass. Now, not a very practical way to light a light bulb, but a demonstration of that high voltage electricity works differently than we expect it to. This is about 200,000 volts of electricity, okay? And the thought that I have, the thing that I'd like you to realize is that if we can increase the spiritual energy, the spiritual voltage as it were, we can have things happen differently than what we expect. So moving from the first level, the level of being plugged in, to level 2, did something different for Myrtle Fillmore, didn't it? It was moving to that second level did something different. We have the opportunity now to move to a third level, to raise our vibration. So how do we raise our vibration? Well, I've got a workshop this afternoon. How many people will probably be coming to the workshop, so we'll know? So maybe about 10, because we're going to be sitting in a circle, so that'll help me know how I want to arrange the chairs. So fine, gee, I came, but I don't have a chance to say for the workshop, what should I do? The answer is there are many ways to raise your vibration, many ways to raise your physical vibration. One way is, what was the first word? Happy. Do you notice how it makes you feel higher in vibration, better? To be happy, okay? Meditation, coming to a service, being with other people who have higher vibrations. Prayer, smiling. There are many, many ways. Walking in nature. Anything that makes you happy, anything that it makes you feel expansive. Reading. Yeah. Playing the guitar, music. There are many, many ways. Many, many ways. Any way that you feel uplifted, any way you feel expansive, because feelings are the language of the soul. Feelings are the language of the soul. So your soul will tell you when your vibration is being raised. You can feel it. You can sense it. And when you're around people or watching the news, and you feel like you feel like you're not expanding, turn off the TV, change what you're doing, because our job, to put it in my language, is we're looking for the high voltage charger. You're not looking for the gas pump. You're looking for a different way of connecting. So when we do this, one of the things that happens is our auras become more light. There's more light in our auras. Our auras become stronger, and what is in the aura starts to come into the physical. So I want to kind of review the talk. The first word is happy. And because we're changing from crystalline or from carbon-based to crystalline, we can vibrate at a higher frequency. Okay, so be happy. Our connection, everything we're looking for, is where? Inside. And the third is connect. And connect means to connect to spirit, to go walking in nature, to meditate, to do the things that help you connect more to spirit. Well, the talk is probably a little weird. So I'll tell you, if you're thinking this is a little weird, it's a little strange, weird. I want to mention that the word weird comes from the Old English and is spelled with a Y and means spiritual. So if you happen to feel weird or go to a weird talk where something weird is happening, consider the fact that it may be spiritual. One of the other things that I want to mention about the theory that I have is I don't think there's a downside. Is there a downside to being happy?
No.
So whether it works or not, be happy anyway. So the difference is that it's our spiritual practice. So I want to give you an update. As I say, my things change as time goes on. I just gave, this is part 1, I just gave the part 2 talk at our church on July 2nd. So what was my update on that? Well, from a reliable source that Carol and I have learned to trust over years, the golden age is already here. We're just not aware of it. And how do you think we become aware of it? Raising our vibrations. By raising our vibrations. So the second thing is, how long will it take us to become aware that the golden age is here? Because right now it's not looking too good. As one person said, right now the gold's looking kind of tarnished. And the answer for that is around 2 years. In about 2 years' time, hopefully, if enough of us spend some time and work on raising our vibrations, which means for a lot of us, not watching the news or paying attention. Now, I live in the world, I'm human, I'm an engineer, so my background's engineering. So how as a mystic do I look at this, at what's happening out there in the world? And the answer is that it's like a pendulum. So the further the pendulum goes this way, when it's released, the faster and further it'll go the other way. So if things are looking not too good to you right now, and it's predicted to be a time of chaos, kind of root for it to get worse. Because that brings the pendulum further over and it will swing back further. And I'm joking about rooting for it, but a better position would be don't get caught up in the drama, in the chaos, etc., and become unhappy. I think that pretty well covers the subject. Like the good engineer that I am, or my background in engineering, are there any questions? 3 words. Happy, inside, connect. So I look forward to those of you that can stay for the workshop, and for those that aren't able to stay for the workshop, I want to mention that we are all connected. It's very common to say that we're all one, but it's hard to think that way because in the physical, it doesn't look like we're all one. It doesn't look like we're all connected. But the people who stay or the people who go will all add to our moving into awareness of the golden age by being happy, by doing the things that you enjoy. So, thank you very much. We got the meditation. So today's meditation, for today's meditation, I'll play the didgeridoo. This particular didgeridoo tends to help us move into the future. The sound from this didgeridoo tends to help us move into the future. And so I'll be playing around. For some people, the didgeridoo is extremely magical. For some people, it's irritating. So if you want me to play closer or more, you can do this. And if you prefer it was next door or across the street, do this. You can close your eyes, you keep your eyes open. And you may hear the sound changing as I move around because my intention is to play for the highest good. And the highest good will depend on who I'm playing around. And it can change as we interact. So take a deep breath. Close your eyes if you choose, and just relax.
Amazing. Amazing.
Fantastic. I would think that the ditch would qualify for music, but not sure. So, breathe on me, breath of God. 181? Here.
So, my sense is that there is some emotional energy here. Either individuals, the place, I don't know exactly what. But during the time that we're out eating and celebrating and joining together, if any of you feel that you'd like another minute or two with the didgeridoo, I'll stay in here and play for you individually. So if you'd like a little bit more.
And also, he'll be using the ditch during the workshop. Breathe on me, breath of God. Fill me with life anew, that I may love what thou dost love, and do what thou dost do. Breathe on me, breath of God, until my heart is pure, until with thee I will one will to do or to endure. Breathe on me, breath of God, till I am wholly thine, till all this earthly part of me glows with a fire divine. Breathe in me. I'm so sorry. I'm not. Breathe in me, breath of God, so shall I never die, but live with thee the perfect life of thine eternity.
Thank you, Carol and Gale. And I'll say I've experienced his Raising the Vibrations workshop, so it's well worth your time if you're tempted to participate in that. We're going to have our offertory now, so I invite you to take your gift in your hand and just want to use a suggestion here. As you prepare your tithes and love offerings today, think about how how blessed you are. And as you're writing your check or giving your gift, send your blessings out. Please send a blessing to this church as well as all the congregants. Sometimes people are dealing with some heavy stuff in their personal lives, and maybe they aren't ready to tell us about it. But send them your love, send them your heart. Okay, and so we'll say this song, or you can speak the words, I am so blessed, as the ushers move through the congregation. Thank you.
So blessed. Sorry. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
So could I have an usher and Tracy, our board member of the week, and Candace, our chaplain today, come forward and we'll bless the tithes and offerings? And together as a congregation, we're going to say the words that are on the screen. So. Together we dedicate these gifts in service to the highest mission, recognizing and celebrating our oneness with God. We joyfully and freely participate in the law of circulation, of giving and receiving, knowing that God is source, the source of all good, and we are grateful. Thank you, God. Wonderful. Okay. Do we have a Food for Life bag handy? Oh, thank you. We have a homeless ministry, so we collect non-perishable goods, and these are routed to the homeless for lunches and so on. Is anybody willing to take the bag home to put goodies in it and bring it back the next week? Thank you, ma'am. I'll put the bag up here up front. And now's our time for good news. And I have something that may not initially seem like it's good news, but I wanted to share it because it seemed like it was appropriate. Yesterday I attended a memorial for a coworker in Seattle. And I was sitting in this lovely chapel and I was listening to family members talk about their remembrances of the person who had passed. And this was somebody that we all loved. He had a wonderful zest for life and just a wonderful human being, of course. And I was looking out the window and there was birds hopping on the grass, and then I saw a hummingbird come and visit a flower. And I thought, isn't that interesting? It didn't seem like the right timing for a hummingbird for some reason. But I watched the hummingbird, and then it kind of zipped around the building, and it went to a different window higher up. And it was almost like it was trying to get into the building. And I thought, I wonder if the person's spirit is in that bird just for a moment, coming to celebrate with us, because it was a celebration of life. So that's what I wanted to share. Does anybody else have any good news to share?
I have good news. I'm up. Well, I'm up. Thank you, Debbie. I'm up, as you can see, and I'm so grateful for everybody that's prayed for me. And I had a special, I got some special body work from Millie as a gift, and it really just sort of jump-started me, and I'm making a lot of progress now, and hopefully I can lose the walker and even just get back pretty much to normal, so this is a good thing. Thank you so much.
That is good news. Thank you. Thank you. So we have a child to welcome in to greet this child. Come on in. And we're going to sing them our little song. It's on the screen.
You are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. You are walking in the light, in the light of God. In the light, 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 in the light of God.
Well, Joe, what did you talk about today in Sunday school?
Well, we talked about law of attraction. And Jay, did you do some art there? It's going to take a moment. Unfold it there. So what do you have there? Can you point to the different parts of it and say what it is? We're getting ready.
This says loving. This says playful. This says sad. And they're going like This one is angry.
And what's at the top there? These things.
Magnets.
And what do magnets do if you put two together in the right way? Do they attract?
Yeah.
So it's about law of attraction and how what the thoughts we hold in mind, we tend to attract those people and experiences into our lives. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Joe. So let's bless both Joe as our Sunday school teacher and Jay with the blessing. It's on the screen.
We love you, we bless you, and we appreciate you just the way you are.
Thank you. So we're going to stand and have the peace song and our closing prayer.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us.